Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. I've got 3 really good unknown facts about vibrating jigs that I want to share with you. They will make you a better angler when it comes to fishing your favorite vibrating jig. And guys, these are good. You're going to want to stay tuned for these. Before I get into them, I want to remind you guys that if you have not subscribed yet to the channel, please do that. I give out daily tips, and if there's something that you find helpful, hit that subscriber button. It helps the channel out. Also, if you want to help support the channel, please use my Tackle Warehouse affiliate link that I put in the video description. It's a great way to support the channel, and it's very much appreciated. All right, so a vibrating jig is one of my favorite baits. I think oftentimes for new anglers and people that pick it up for the first time, what they find is it's not a magical lure. It does not necessarily catch fish all day long. As a tournament angler, I love them because I think the average size fish that you catch on a vibrating jig is substantially better than most other baits. And because of that, I love them. But you really do drop down in the number of bites that you get. It's not a bait that you catch a bunch of little fish. I'd say for the most part, you're talking about 2-pound class fish or better are the ones that are eating the vibrating jig. So you want to keep that in mind. But I've got for you 3 unknown facts that I want to talk about. The first is most people are not aware that if you take a vibrating jig, this is the Berkley Slobber Knocker, you can slightly bend up the blade. If you bend that blade forward a little bit, take a pair of pliers, grab the blade and just fold it up a little bit, what you can do is increase the thumping action as well as the erratic darting action. That movement back and forth that makes the vibrating jig so good is the fact that it's very unpredictable. It may just vibrate and then dart off, vibrate, dart off. And it's that quick darting action that creates a lot of your reaction strikes and is what makes this bait so good. But you can increase that slightly by folding the blade forward. Now, if you go too much, you can really destroy the action of the bait. The good thing is you can bend it back. You're not really going to have much issue with destroying the bait as a whole. You'll just kill the action of it. The other thing I want to point out with this is it's similar to a crankbait. You can make your vibrating jigs run slightly off kilter. If you want it to run to the left or run to the right, you can do that by folding just the blade on one side of your bait. Now again, it's one of those things like a crankbait, you have to play around with it. You have trial and error. If you go too far to one side, you kill the action. If you bend it just right, you can get the bait to run slightly to the right, slightly to the left, and that can make a big difference if you're going down the bank in one direction. Maybe you're going down the bank fishing docks that are all on that one side and you want your bait to slightly run under the dock and bang into each of those dock posts. You can do that with a vibrating jig, just like your crankbaits. So don't be afraid to take a pair of pliers and start bending around the lip on your vibrating jigs. It will change the action. The more that you can get this bait to run into objects and the more you can get it to create erratic darting motions, you're going to get a lot more bites on it. So that's tip number 1. The second tip has to do with your trailer. So in this case, I've just got a Zoom Fluke as my trailer. This is a bait I'm really trying to make loud and stand out. But to piggyback on what I just mentioned about your erratic darting motion, you will get much better darting motion by going with a straight-tailed trailer like this Fluke or like a Zako, something along those lines that does not grab water. I know a lot of you out there probably like to throw a boot-tailed trailer. The problem with a boot-tailed trailer is it grabs so much water that it doesn't want to let the bait hunt. And if you're preventing the bait from hunting and creating that erratic motion, you're probably missing out on some bites. So I encourage you guys to not throw a boot-tailed trailer. Now, if you want to keep your bait in the strike zone for longer, maybe you've got really dirty water, maybe the boot-tail is the right bait to go with. But if you're trying to create erratic darting motion, you want a straight-tailed trailer. It will really help the overall movement of this bait back and forth. So that's the second relatively unknown fact. The third is that the least popular selling model of the Chatterbait line, because as far as I know, they're one of the very few ones that make it, is the heaviest model. This is the 1.25 ounce size. It is by far the least popular model in terms of baits sold. But I'll tell you, it is one of the best and most widely used by professional anglers when it comes to fishing deep structure. So don't be afraid to pick up an 1.25 ounce size chatterbait or other vibrating jig and use this as a ledge bait, a bait to fish deep points, a bait to fish deep humps. Maybe you've got some standing timber that's topping out 25 feet under the surface and you want to get a bait down to it. The 1.25 ounce size bait is very unpopular with the general public, but it's very popular with the professional anglers out there. So don't be afraid to pick up a very heavy vibrating jig like this 1.25 ounce jackhammer. That's 3 unknown facts, guys, that if you apply them to your vibrating jig fishing, you will catch more fish. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Stay tuned, we'll have a new one coming out tomorrow.